Hello. My name is Sierra or Zovi. Congrats on the win. I've actually been following you for a hot minute. I cast Game Changers and VCL North America, so obviously got to see your journey the last year and getting to this point. I first just wanted to start off and say congrats on the win. I fronted a FURIA 2-1. I did not expect it to be that close or Abyss to go that way. But yeah, my first question is just around that, and especially being your first match on stage as well. For you, right, it being your debut match, and then there was also, I feel like, additional pressure from online because you're up against a team of stand-ins. How did you deal with all that conflicting pressure, and how do you feel now that it's over?
Well, the pressure from this being like a stand-in team wasn't really there. I didn't think about that at all. It was more of the just being on stage for the first time and playing the game. I don't think there was once a thought where I'm thinking, oh, it's five stand-ins, like I need to win this or something. Just playing my game. The first game, as it's not me, but as the rules say, the book says the first game is a warm-up. So just warmed up the first game, and then after that was pretty chill.
Nice. And now I kind of want to rewind. In my interviews, I like to, especially for newer players, like tell their whole story, and then we'll jump into kind of like what happened
Mhm.
today. So I want to go like back, really far back, because in your Furia roster announcement tweet, you talked about coming to the U.S. 5 years ago and only starting competitive Valorant 2 years ago. So I wanted to hear about that story a little bit. I mean, you would have been what, like 15 at the time, so I'm sure it wasn't your choice to
Yeah.
come here, but maybe what were some of the reasons behind that, and then how did you discover and commit to kind of competitive Valorant?
Yeah. 5 years ago, my sister lived in US for about 12, 13 years. So it was like always an open path. But um, about 5 years ago, the COVID started, and the COVID was really, really bad in Kyrgyzstan,
Mm-hmm.
is where I'm from. And we kind of we went to the US to like get away from the COVID because the healthcare and I don't know how much I don't know, but this is my opinion. Let's say, but
Yeah,
the
say what you want.
healthcare is not very good, and it's like not the best for the COVID at that time. And we just moved to US to kind of get away from that. And the idea is just that life quality in US is 20 times better than in Kyrgyzstan. There aren't as many opportunities, aren't as many things to do. It's just not the greatest. But yeah, 5 years ago, me, mom, and my dad moved to US for the first year. I wasn't really doing anything, just studying English. Got moved to US like almost zero English knowledge, like basic from video games. I played CS, CS:GO, CS 1.6. So like I knew the basics from the CS:GO, but the first year I kind of spent just learning the culture and learning the English and everything. Shout out my brother-in-law for helping me out a lot in these times. He was like the my guide throughout the whole journey to like showing me the culture, showing me everything, teaching me like how to do everything and stuff. Um, After that, I played League of Legends for like 2 years. I didn't play any games for the first year. The next 2 years, I played League of Legends and whatever, and I was started studying, got my student visa and everything. And in 2024, 2024,
Yeah.
yeah, in 2024, I started playing more Valorant with my friends. With back in Kyrgyzstan, I would play on 120 ping because I didn't really have that many friends in US yet, nobody to play with. Um, and then I was like this is fun. Let me try playing this by myself on NA servers with 10 ping. Let's see how this feels. I was like, oh, this is actually very fun on low ping, like not on 120 ping. And I was like, let me try playing this. Oh,
You're
that's
good.
one
It's good. It looks good. Don't worry.
great. Um, and then I started playing, and then I made not made, but I was one my Kyrgyz friend that was also in US. We played. I played with him like once a week, once a month, Valorant. And then in March, April ish of 2024, I was like, let me try a little bit harder. Let me see. I was like, let me put a little bit more effort into like playing the game, and I bought a gaming laptop, and then playing a gaming laptop. I hit Radiant on that with like 100 FPS, 60 hertz, like the worst setup of all
I
time.
feel that.
And then after getting on a laptop, I was like, wait a minute. And in May of 2024, I set up some money and bought a gaming PC. And that's where the journey starts. That 20 May of 2024, the whole summer, the whole May, I put up the stream for 10 hours, lock Reina, and every single day for like the 90 days straight, just 10 hours straight, Reina rank stream. And that like I think that was the biggest breakthrough in like my mechanics and confidence in myself. And then after that, it's just this. I got picked up by whatever, and here we are now.
Well, I'm glad because we're gonna talk about the whatever a little bit. Starting out with
Yep.
Nightblood Gaming because that was where you were for a very long time, obviously, and
Yeah.
then you had this like kind of like out of the blue switch up after NBG kind of disbanded, of jumping over to Core, and that's where it felt like you had that kind of like getting noticed arc because of the crazy
Yeah.
neon plays and that kind of Cinderella run that almost was to Ascension. How did it differ, do you think, your time with Nightblood Gaming versus that core stint that allowed you to now have this success and this upcoming into tier one?
Yep. I think with Nightblood Gaming, Nightblood was like the foundation for me. It wasn't the final form for me. Is I had zero competitive experience, just ranked Reina, and I didn't have any like good agents except Neon. And Nightblood Gaming was a lot of like foundations of teamwork, communication, positioning, and all that. How to play as a team player and not as a player myself. And then going into core with having that foundation built, and with good support around me. Shout out my core boys, Darkest Logan, Tuesday, and at first it was Kes, but then Kes got poached. Nerve, Michael. Um, and with them, I kind of like got to do whatever I wanted. They set me up for whatever I wanted, anything I wanted to do. They're always down to do, and that kind of let me shine and just play my game.
Nice, nice. And then we'll kind of speed up now to after you've joined FURIA. You kind of touched upon this in the pre-match interview, how this has been a big learning period for you. And I wanted to
Yeah.
address that through the duelist lens specifically, because it felt like every map today, we saw you on a different kind of type of duelist, it felt like, right? First map,
Mhm.
Neon Gober. Second map, that kind of double duelist with Kalala Noob. And that third map, that kind of like mindful duelist that's developed with the Waylay. I was curious, like, especially for the Waylay and the double duelist, you don't have as much experience with that. I think Muddy with NBG, the last stint in NBG, was your only experience with double duelist, and this was your 8th time playing, I think, Waylay in an official. So what was, I think, the hardest for you to pick up during the off season in terms of stepping into this new kind of more flexible duelist role instead of just the Neon Gober?
I think the hardest part with like going to the double duelist and playing more flex duelist was kind of you don't get as much control over the game because there's obviously the other duelist, but using that you get to play more of your own game. I don't know how to explain this. Like
Yeah.
I don't get to do everything that I want to do because there's a double duelist, but because there is other duelists making that space and maybe going for those plays for me, I get to do some other plays because of that. He creates more opportunities for me. I think that was like the hardest part of like figuring out the good balance of like going from Neon and me controlling the game and going to like the next map into like, oh, now I need to chill out and just go with the flow.
Mm. And then one big question I'm sure a lot of people are gonna have, the Breeze pick, right? Was that
Yeah.
attributed, do you think, to like you guys having so much time to prep as one of the first kind of like off-season announced teams, or did you think like because it was a stand team they wouldn't be prepared for it, or like what can you share behind the thought process of picking into Breeze today?
Um, I don't know. I'm not too
You're
sure.
just like Breeze, all right, let's
But
go.
they did the veto. We talked about the maps yesterday. They did the vetoes. The vetoes were like completely up to my IGL and my coaches. So
Nice.
no idea.
You're just like, I'm duelist, I go shoot.
Yep.
Cool. All right, and then we'll end with some rapid fire kind of funny questions in the last minute. The first one, when I'm making these rapid fire questions, I go doom scroll on people's Twitters, and so that's where somebody's coming from. The first one, obviously, I feel like the One Piece cosplay, iconic. The flexing in VCL, iconic, right? You had a lot of showmanship over there, but we haven't seen that, obviously, in this first match today, maybe because it was that kind of
Mhm.
reverse sweep, but are we going to get it? Is it coming?
100%.
All
100%. That's
right.
the goal for me. Is the first game was today was a little nerve-wracking, so nerve-wracking. So I didn't have as much like freedom to do so. I was like more locked in, or like let me do whatever the hell I need to do. And then after once I'm comfortable enough and I'm 100% like can do my things, then there'll come the showmanship because that is part of what I want to do. I want to show my personality to people, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Nice,
100%.
nice. And then the other one, which is really funny, is I have a question. Have you gotten your ears pierced yet? I feel like LA would be really good for that. That was something you
I have
posted like
not.
twice. All right, you have it. That you were like, should I?
yeah, okay, it's coming. I know for a fact I'm doing it,
Oh,
but the timing of it was a little bit off because then if I got it pierced back then, there were still trials going, and I
ooh,
didn't know how the situation with the headphones being on and me
true.
trialing, and it's like adding another factor when I in my like the most important part of my life. I'm like, okay, this is the part I need to like not mess up. So I didn't end up doing it, and then time went on, time went on. Now I'm in LA, and at some point I'll get it done. It's on the to-do list.
Tactical earrings. And then I wanted to end with a really, really funny story time. I don't know if you remember this or not. We ran into each other at a TDM.
Hmm.
And you were tearing it up on the neon, and I made like a really sarcastic joke where I came on the mic and I was like, "Is that alym from Nightblood Gaming?" And like you freaked out.
I remember. Oh yeah. Okay, I remember that. Yep. 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 Yep.
I was
Yeah. That
like,
was
bro
like a
thinks I'm the
while ago.
weirdest person, even though I just literally just casted him and didn't think
Yeah.
it was actually you. Like, and then it was, and I was like, oh shit. I
That
just
was
thought
a while ago. That was like, oh my god.
I just thought that would make you laugh, especially because today, again, stressful day, and it was just something that's been really, really funny to me since then, especially now that you're in tier 1.